We're in Davidson with Euro Hoop Life here, where we're a Yelp for international basketball players, where we're sharing stories of individual teams with individual players and their experiences overseas. So it's kind of just leaving some breadcrumbs for the future and saying, hey, this is a good team, this is a bad team. And we're here with John Dickson. He's going to be
Whoop,
talking about
whoop.
Argentina. He's going to be sitting here about talking about Argentina. We just got back from the TBT. We did amazing, but hey, sometimes you can't win them all. So we're coming back and just spreading the love with all the international and FIBA basketball world here. John, introduce yourself and go over the team that we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, what's going on? It's your boy John Dickson. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The team I'm going to be speaking about or discussing is Union de Santa Fe, a beautiful city, really beautiful city. They put you up in your own apartment. Actually, I think all the players get their own apartment. Like I said, beautiful city. It's like a college town or whatever. So it's a lot of parties and stuff going out. When you play for Union de Santa Fe, it's a really small city. They have a really good soccer club.
How small would you say the city is? Like 500,000 or
Well,
2 million?
let me lie. It's not that small. Let's say it's maybe like 1 million people
Okay.
around, but it's not a metropolitan city. It's like the center, and everyone kind of lives on the outskirts of the city.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a football city. So the soccer team runs it. Anytime there's a soccer match, the whole city shuts down, and everyone, like literally, everyone in the city's there. It's a great time. Let's say in the sense of basketball, they have a really good facility. It's a big stadium. I think it's about 8,000 seats, 6 to 8,000 seats.
What was the city name again?
Santa Fe.
Santa Fe,
Santa Fe,
Argentina.
Argentina. I think it's like an hour or 2 hours away from the capital.
Is it kind of mountainous? Is it kind of like the tropical? When you think of Argentina and Brazil, you think of kind of like the pampas and the grasslands and flat, or is it high plateaus like San
It's
Antonio?
flat. It's real flat. It's not like in the mountains. It's real flat. It's next to water. I can't think of the name of the city that's close to it, but they have a really nice city that's very near to it. But it's a flat city. Like I said, we would typically on the weekends go to the beach, hang out.
So you're on the coast. You are on the coast, or are you kind of like a beach on a river?
Like a river, beach on the river. Let's say like beach on the river. Yeah, I mean we could just jump straight into the basketball. Like
Yeah. What were
basketball.
the facilities like? Did they give you a car? Were you stationed near the facilities where you practiced?
Okay.
Did they take care of it and stuff like that?
Yeah. So the owner of the team, he owned the apartment complex, or he owned an apartment building, 1 block away from the stadium.
Oh, nice, convenient.
Yeah. So and basically because it's a really big soccer club, everything was in house. So we get all our meals at the club. And also the club it's a big soccer club and it's a school.
Okay.
So when we go up there, they have a pool. They have everything. They literally have everything in one
Like a
place.
small university or a big high school or
Exactly,
something?
exactly. It's like a small
A
university.
really nice rec center or something.
Yeah, and you can get everything, get your clothes washed, everything. They had a chef prepare the food. So we ate a lot of chicken melanesas. People are,
Okay.
everyone knows what the melanesas is.
I'll write that
So
down.
we had a lot of melanesa. I remember with that team, they never wanted us to go out at night. They're like, hey, we want you guys to stay away from the parties and the club because the
They
people in the city.
micromanage. They're really micromanaging you.
Yeah. So I remember, I'm an adult. So if I want to go out and have a beer or two, like, you can't really stop me.
Yeah.
So I remember us going out, and I remember I was telling one of the other, they get 2 Americans per year. So I remember telling one of the Americans, I say, hey, bro, don't take any pictures when you go out tonight. Like, trying to stay low key, have fun, do whatever you want to do, but don't take any pictures. So I remember this guy, his name James Cabroni. I think he's like an assistant, like film guy with the Knicks now. But he goes out, he takes some pictures, and literally they got him on the club's website or the club's Instagram. Yes, they got his picture. Oh, Santa Fe basketball player shows up to the club. Mind you, everything Argentina really cheap. So we were getting
Yeah.
bottles and bottles for like $20.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So I remember the next day I practiced, I'm having a good practice. The assistant coach brings us in and he's like, "What is this?" And he just shows pictures of just James, though. He had not one picture of me.
Yep.
He only had pictures of James, like, and it's a bunch of girls like tagging him and putting his face out there. And I was just like, bro, I already told you don't take any pictures because
there's going to be repercussions.
And I told him, like, people can see us, people can talk about us, but if they don't have any proof, it's only hearsay. Yep. But you taking pictures with everybody. So anyways, the coach is really tough on us. And, that was one of the first years that I really, basketball wasn't hard, but just dealing with the head coach. I think his name is Daniel Beltramo, something like that. Daniel, but he was a real defensive-minded coach. And I would say that if he learned like more people skills, that he'll be an awesome defensive coach, kind of like a Tom Thibodeau type. Yeah. He has some really good defensive strategies and principles that I like. But the whole
personal interaction and relationship.
Yeah. So basically what ended up happening was our team was number 2 in the league, right?
Yep.
Just beat the number 1 team going into Christmas time, feeling good, and I remember, leaving all my stuff in South America because I didn't want to travel heavy because, I'm only going to be home.
You only get like 3 or 4 days back.
Exactly. So I'm like, I think I had like 8 days. So I had like a week. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be home for a week. They pay for both tickets. So I'm like, okay, I know for sure I'm coming back. I think 3 days after Christmas, 28th of December, I was supposed to come back on the 1st. So 28th of December, I get a message from my agent like, hey, the team waived you. And I was like, really? Like they wait? Like, huh?
What's going on? That was told me before I left.
Yeah, I'm like, all my stuff is there. Like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, decided to try to sign like another post player. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's kind of weird because I'm second or I'm top 5 in the league in scoring, and we're number 2 in the league. Like, what else do you try to do? Like, yeah, so obviously it ended up coming out. The coach was trying to get rid of me, and and so basically what ended up happening is all my stuff was stuck down there. I asked them to see if they can send it. They told me they were going to send it. They never sent it, and then they offered me cash for it, and I can't really negotiate because I'm not there anymore. Yeah. So, basically I got all my Jordans, probably had like 4 or 5 pair of Jordans, which is $1,000 itself.
Yeah.
And tons of clothes and even like my Beats speaker, all types of stuff.
Just the stuff you need, you collect, and you go down there and you got to pack it up for 10 months. So that was probably the most on the professional side of things. But like how was everything else fairly professional? I mean, we've all had situations where we get cut and stuff like that, but were they fairly overall professional?
I mean, overall, I would say they're pretty professional. Other than that situation, the money was on time. Great city. So I think now the assistant coach is running the program, and to me, the assistant coach should have been the head coach because he had the social skills, he had the offensive mindedness, he was very open, and he can really read the game really well. And I always was like kind of looking like,
why is it him?
I said, hey, you should take a seat and let him coach for a little bit. Because this guy, his name is Juanfra Pouncey. Juanfra. Yeah, really great guy. I vouch for him. Great guy. He's actually running the program now. I think now they're in the Liga A. They're in the first league. I think financially, because of COVID and everything that happened, the money isn't too great down there. But
it seems like all throughout Europe, contracts that used to be 150,000 are now 110. The ones that were 500,000 are now 250. So there was an adjustment. I went through the whole adjustment being over in Istanbul, Turkey, and where the European players really started catching up to the quality American players. And they're like, hey, we don't have to play these Americans as much as we used to. But in the 80s and 90s, Americans like the big thing. You get that contract, you're signing $1 million contract. You play NBA or something like that.
So I mean, I would say this, like, in the sense of like basketball, like, yeah, they're catching up, but it's not the same. Yeah. Because the way they're taught basketball out of the country versus the way we're taught, we have more individual skills. So their bigs are pretty skilled, but they lack the experience in playing against like top players. The only time they play against top players is during the FIBA Cups, under 21, under 18s, under 16, and you're playing against like Team Brazil or Team Cuba, and that's good and all, but in America or in the United States, you're playing against the top players every day, whether it's open gym, whether it's up at a college, whether it's
the
in a
TBT was
tournament.
64 top level players.
Exactly. So
at a certain level.
Exactly. So overseas, they're never going to get a concentration of that many really good players that can really go. So that's the only difference. Is like we pushing out great players every single day. Like we can have 10 or 20 great players, but they may not be as recognized as, for example,
in Argentina. Each team's going to have 3 national teams.
Exactly. They're going to have
Americans, and then there's just younger team and the possible better quality players.
Exactly. So, you go to Argentina or even, let's say, like a Venezuela, like they're going to have good players, but they may only have 1 or 2 really good players. And everybody else is kind of just good.
But you're kind of an accent to helping out their best players in getting after it.
Exactly.
So let's get the last little bit, finish up. Would you recommend a player play for this team? And how would people get in contact with you if they wanted more questions?
Well, if you want to get in contact with me, always can get at me via Facebook at John Dickson IV, Instagram at Johnny Boso 200. You already. But what I recommend this team, I would say if you're looking for opportunity, yes, I would definitely. First League Argentina is, I think it's top 10 league in the world. It's very respected. I think because their national team is very respected. Like I said, if you're looking for the financial side, they're not going to pay great, but it's a very good stepping stone for if you want to go somewhere after. Definitely very good stepping stone. So 2 thumbs for me. I'll say you get there. Yeah.
Outstanding. John, thank you for your time and your educational. That's what we're here for. You're a Hope Life. We're a Yelp for international basketball players.
Yes, sir. I like that Yelp thing, bro. I think that